WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. I'm not sure how rare and exotic Rossville Union Mastercrafted Straight Rye Whiskey barrel proof is, with its standard 56.3%. It's always interesting how barrel proof can be exactly one standard ABV. 83 barrels were used to make this. I paid €100 for this. Now, it's not overpriced if you consider the $70 that this cost in America. You add the 25% tariffs onto it, and you get about the same price. All right, so it's not that much. But the question is this whiskey actually worth €100? I'm going to pull out something to compare it to. That is here, Templeton Rye 2020. All right, it's also 56%, so 56.3, 56.55. I'm just going to forget those little numbers behind the comma here. I paid €60 for this. €60, €100. MGP 95.5, MGP 95.5, as well as the 51% of rye, 45% corn, and 4% malted barley. Why do they only have 4% and they have 5% malted barley in this? I don't know. All right, good. So I'm going to pour this a little bit. I really like this. I did not appreciate that much the Rossville Union normal 47% addition. So that's going to be our 94 proof. I had some disharmony in the middle, and basically the thing that I did not like about this was I love root beer, but sassafras in my whiskey is not something I really, really like, and I get a lot of that here. All right, that root, that sassafras, which makes root beer taste like root beer, that's in here, and I think it's in here as well. All right, let's nose the two of these. Yep, and here. Oh, nice. I've really been trained. 95.5 is the way I want my rye whiskeys. Here we actually have more of a oak toasted moment, a little bit more of the vanilla, and more of a rye moment. Over here I have the sassafras. I have the corn, and I have a lighter rye, creamy vanilla moment here. All right, let's try them. All right. So I think MGP is going the right direction to create their own brands. We have the George Remus, we have the Rossville, we have different brands that they're now finally making and creating and putting out on the markets. Lexco is going to help them. The merger between Lexco and MGP will actually allow distribution, especially over to Europe, that MGP did not have before, as well as brand awareness, brand building, and so on. They're making great products. Don't forget, they don't have rick houses. They have brick warehouses. They are a powerhouse of rye whiskey production. They themselves say here that they have been producing rye whiskey for almost 200 years. They started in 1847 and have been doing rye ever since, and they call Lawrenceburg, Indiana, Whiskey City. Not sure about that, but that's one way of looking at it. All right, so the MGP distillery is now called the Ross and Squibb Distillery. George Ross founded it in 1847 and together with his partner, and so they went back from the MGP now to the Ross and Squibb. I do not like the name. I think they should have a different name, but hey, they want to honor history, so I guess that's okay. So Kentucky may be bourbon, but maybe Lawrenceburg has been doing rye for much, much longer and much, much better than anyone in Kentucky has done it. Let's try it. Cheers. I get like a disharmony in the middle as well. I really got the disharmony here on the 47%. Towards the end, there's a little bit of a power, a little bit of the alcohol. There's a genuine sweetness to this, which I do not find bad. The rye is dampened by the corn bourbon moment. the whole time it's like it's almost like a Four Roses with a high rye content, but it's not. It's rye. It tastes like a high rye bourbon, but it's not. It's a rye whiskey with more than almost. I think it depends on the ratio. I'd love to know the ratios of the barrels of the high rye and the barely legal rye that they put in there. I know Zagamore does 2 high rye versus 1 barely legal rye. Do they do 50-50? Do they do 3-4? Do they do 1-5? I don't know. If anyone knows, they could tell me. That'd be great, because on the website I couldn't find any information about that there. Going over to Templeton, Templeton Rye has more, at least in Europe, of a brand awareness. Not because they make great whiskey, but because they were sued. All right, so Templeton was the guys who actually on the label said made in Iowa, which was not true. And as far as I know, in 2021, they still don't make it. Maybe they do have their own distillery up and running yet. Don't know if the barrels have reached 4 years. And they've actually put out some of their own juice, but it does say very, 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 very small here, made in Indiana. It says here, produced and bottled by Templeton Rye Spirits in Templeton, Indiana, distilled in, I said Templeton Rye, Iowa, and then it's only, it's IA, and it's distilled in Indiana. So this is the 2020 release. As I said, I paid 59 euros 90, 60 euros for this, 100 euros for this. There's not much good cast strength rye whiskey out here. We barely ever get to see a Lot 40 cast strength, like the rest of the world. We have a Catoctin Creek cast strength. New Riff cast strengths coming over, but they're at 55, 53, 54%. Many people in German don't consider that cast strength. Cast strength is 55 plus. We have a Pikesville, which is 55, which is not cast strength. And we have a Sagamore, which is also cast strength, but a little bit lower than this 56%. And that's about it. We have a couple special bottlings every once in a while. Maybe a Le Maison de Whiskey Paris bottling from Dad's Hat or so on. But we do not have much cast strength whiskey. Question of the day: what is your favorite 100 proof, 50% plus whiskey, rye whiskey? All right. So which is it? I don't know. 50 plus. I think the first bottling of, or even the second bottling of Lot 40 cast strength, which I only had 1 bottle of. No, thank you, Food Quake. All right, so one more time. Gonna go briefly over to the Templeton first. Wow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's just normal 95.5 steroids. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful whiskey here. We need more of that. Oh, yeah. Oh, the vanilla, the rye, the cream, the wood. A little bit of maybe a dill moment in there, but not much. Oh, yeah. Nice. Now, what I don't get is this excitement for the Rossville rye. The Rossville Union Rye and barrel proof. It just doesn't really do it for me. I'm going to add a tiny, tiny little bit of water to this, and then take it down from its 56% down to about 50%, and it really, really exaggerates that sassafras moment, that root beer moment here. The disharmony is a tiny little bit there still, and then it goes. It's just not my cup of tea for some reason. I don't know why, but if I were to have the choice between the two of these, I would pick this every day of the week. All right, so this is actually a B- whiskey. Value for money is C. This is a taste-wise, it's a C to C-, and a value for money is a D. It's not something I'm willing to pay 100 euros for again, ever. I'm so sorry, MGP. I'm going to look for independent bottled MGP instead of then the original bottling. Isn't that a shame? I don't know about you, but I would not pay $70 for this either. So what's your opinion? All right. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for liking. Thank you very much for commenting. Maybe you can share this video with some friends and tell them about this guy over here in Europe tasting a lot of crazy, exotic, rare whiskeys. I don't know if these two are that exotic, this rare, but maybe you haven't seen them either. Thank you very much. See you soon. Whiskey Jason here. Bye-bye.